born in 1934. It was the middle of the Great Depression. I see it as a huge asset. My brother gave me a trumpet. That just changed my life. I drew constantly, it was just a natural thing. It was a big conflict as to whether I would be a musician or something in the art world. I had a big offer to go pro with a wonderful group. There was a lot of drugs in jazz at that time. It got worse and worse and darker. And I decided I was going to be a designer. There was something about doing things in multiples and in the public view that really appealed to me. Because of my music background, I thought I wanted to design record covers for a career. Thank God that I didn't pursue that. I knew that I was going to be independent. Everybody in my family worked for themselves, and that's all I've ever done. New York was the power base then, as it remains somewhat today. Things were really changing pretty dramatically. There were a lot of really large firms springing up, 150 people. But I wanted to be independent so I could start out on my own. I don't think you do that today. Bruce Blackburn and I started talking about the possibility of starting a new firm together. It was very soon after we were together that we got the request for proposal from NASA. The NASA program was and still is unique. More than any other federal agency, the public was totally engaged. This was the flagship for their entire program. It not only did for NEA what they needed to do, but it won every conceivable award. When it was rescinded, for almost no reason, it broke a lot of hearts, not just mine and Bruce's. Danne and Blackburn did reach a considerable height. Along with other kinds of clients, we redesigned 4 federal agencies. Our projects tended to get bigger, not smaller. It created a conflict in the firm as to what we were really going to be. My basic instinct is to remain one of the creators. I love a firm of 10 or 15 people where you're really crafting things and giving individual attention to clients. But at one point, we had 65 people. You're shuffling paper. At best, you're leading the band, but you're sure not playing in it. It wasn't the world that I enjoyed. I wanted a much more personal thing, so we went our separate ways. I've been freelancing ever since. I joined AIGA. I was invited onto the board. In a kind of a crisis, I was elected president. We proceeded to implement a plan for going national, to give the people out there in those hinterlands the respect that I thought they deserved. And those ideas included chapters, getting national board members. I'm probably as proud of that as I am any corporate thing I ever did. I would fess up at this point and say that I've lived a double life, and that other life is music. It's always been lurking there, and I think music has helped me design and vice versa. I worked very hard, but it never felt like work, and so it didn't matter. Nobody wants to get up in the morning more than I do. I still love getting in the studio and designing something. If you ask my kids, what does your daddy do for a living? Well, he draws boxes. And it's true.